Hey everyone, so I'm gonna do the 1930s look. So what they did back then, they went away from that black dramatic stuff and they went more natural on their eyes. They went from wearing Vaseline to just putting one color on, but sometimes like a brown smoky. But I noticed that they did want their eyes to stand out a little, so they did make sure that they had that crease coloring. So I'm just going to use this side. I'm going to try and be soft with it. I'm going to use that middle color, which, like I said, for me comes out pretty dark. And I'm just going to bring that up into, because I really want that brown to be soft. So I'm going to bring that up. The eyebrows were made in a semicircle. So I tried to do that without being a little bit too obvious as they did in those days. Then I'm going to take that deep crease, that dark brown for the crease. I'm just dabbing it in. And I just want to do that as softly as possible. Because they did, at this point, go more natural. I guess they were tired of that black. They still had the pale skin. Now I'm going to soften it with the brush that I used for the contour, for the whole lid. I really, really want to soften that. And then, of course, for the highlight, I'm going to use that, which I believe it's the same as creme brulee. I'm just going to put that in there just to really soften that. They did start wearing eyeliner at this point. Maybelline came out as well as like Max Factor during this time. And again, I'm just going to smudge that out. Now at this point, they did start wearing fake lashes and mascara. Their blush was more natural. Again, they did start wearing blush, and in some of the pictures, I don't know if they were touched up or exaggerated. The blush seemed really heavy, but from what I was reading, they went with a pink natural color. So again, I'm going to go with my Mary Kay Rosewood Rouge. In the pictures, though, they like really had heavy. Some of the pictures were touched up, and in other pictures, they didn't really have, you couldn't even tell. So at this point, they started wearing lots of red lipstick. Some still wore the vampy color. They still did that Cupid's bow. But they exaggerated the upper lip. And kind of rounded off their upper lip. And I watch I Love Lucy, the whole series, and she still wore this I think, through the 50s. So I wanted a really dark red color. And this is a Wet n Wild color that came in those kits, but they're usually part of the regular line. I really wanted a dark red because they still kind of got vampy. So this is how they did their lips. They wanted it to be nice and full and exaggerated on top. They still went for a pale type skin look, a soft pink blush. They did want their eyes went a little bit more natural. To, like I said, wearing Vaseline, like my rollers. I went through half an hour trying to get my hair to get that vintage 30s look. And full red lips. Red had come in deep dark red to I think even orange reds. So yeah. So let me finish my makeup, get my falsies on, and I'll be right back. Hey everyone, so this is the finished look. I was like half an hour to an hour trying to get my hair to do that wave that they had in the 30s. I thought I could do it with pins. It wasn't working. I tried putting rollers, just random rollers in my hair. I watched some online tutorials and finally just did my own thing. I just put rollers and on each segment of my hair to get this little wave that they had in the 30s. I did not cover up my silver. I tried putting in purple, semi-permanent color, and I use it's called Magic Drops from Sally's, and I thought that's really for permanent, the Magic Drops, to help the dye last longer. I thought maybe it would help the semi-permanent, but not much. So this is me with semi-permanent. You see some of the silver. You probably see a lot of the silver now. But eventually you're going to see all of the silver. So yeah, I like how I did this. I did it much softer than this. For some reason, I'm more heavy-handed when I'm doing my left eye. But I really like the softness of this one. Again, they were more into if they did go into a smoky look, they would work with the browns. They did start wearing lashes. I'm not sure if Max Factor was around back then. I know they were around they might have been like Revlon, came in the 40s, but I know that Maybelline was out, and I think some of the more higher end, I think Helena Rubinstein, maybe Elizabeth Arden, the higher end makeup people I think were around at that time. So they started getting into reds, which seems to have lasted well into the 50s, the reds. They just changed, the shades. I wanted to use a dark red because they still did sometimes go vampy, and I'm going to gradually lighten my red for the next two. I was wondering if I should do 1950s because I already did the pinup look. So I might just skip that, but I know for 40s they did red. So they went either from not wearing anything, maybe just one color, putting Vaseline. They like that glossy look on their eyes, which I hate. I heard they did start using some colors like blues and greens, but they did try to go natural, and what they were more interested in was making that contour pop. I noticed a lot of the women's eyes had very big, the lids, the middle part of the lids, like me, where it drooped. So maybe that's why they were more interested in making that stand out, their crease. I also heard that back then the makeup was so harsh that it literally ruined your face. That some of the actresses, by the time, before they were 30, their skin was completely ruined. That's how harsh the makeup was. So I don't know if maybe the eye makeup did that to their eyes or what. So next week I'm going to do the 1940s, which is my favorite. I loved the 40s. I loved the hair. I loved their clothing. I loved how they wore their hair with the big giant curl, and how they had the shoulder pads, which don't look good on me. But, they just, the way they wore their clothes, the cut of their clothes, they loved the shoes they had, with the high heels, and they were thick. I just love the style of the 40s. It's one of my favorites. Then the 50s was, I like the clothing, and then the 80s was my favorite because that's when all the crazy bright makeup came. Any color was allowed. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and the lashes, they did wear big false lashes, so that's why I'm wearing like really big thick lashes, and they would curl them up. So their eyes, I think they wanted to stand out more was the lashes and the crease, and then they really plucked their eyebrows and made a big like semicircle above their eyes, which